Manipulative. You are manipulative. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that these are very strong words to have to say about someone, especially as it relates to their mental health. We're going to talk a little bit more about manipulation, our great friend Michael, and why you could be a little bit more sensitive and mental health minded. But first, the intro. And welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Donna, where we talk about things with a little bit of a therapeutic edge. But I feel like we are jumping all the way in the deep end, and this is a sensitive conversation. So I am offering you a trigger warning. We will be talking about auto deletion, self deletion, however you want to call it. That's what we're talking about today. So if this is a little bit too sensitive for you, I would suggest you avert your gaze. Go on and get out of here. All right, for those of you who decided to stay, hey, I am Dr. Donna Oriowo, sex and relationship therapist in the Washington, D.C. metro area, as you may already know. And we are going to be talking a little bit about what it means to say that someone is manipulative. Now, if you have been out here in these internet streets, then you have heard of Michael Threets. He is the dope man who does a lot of stuff out here, mostly with related to books, trying to get the kiddos to read and to be excited about it. And you also know that he is of unwavering, delightful, delicious character, so kind, even when people are being jackasses. I can call them jackasses because he wouldn't. And to that end, we also know that he has some mental health concerns. Now, I don't want to talk about him specifically, so we are going to actually generalize this conversation a little bit more, because we're going to be talking about the people in your life who may have some auto delete ideation and how you can be a better member of their community. All right, so first of all, let's start with the basic word, manipulative, because people are out here in these internet streets saying that he's being manipulative because he's saying, I'm struggling with my mental health today, right? A definition, operationally defining those terms is often necessary. So to operationally define a term, it means that we are going to get on the same space. We're going to be on the same level, using the word in the same way. That way, if you take this word and make it mean something else, I know that we're not on the same page. So let's get into it. And we're going with Webster dictionary definition of the word manipulative. That is to control or play upon by artful, unfair, or insidious means, especially to one's own advantage. The third definition they have in here is to change by deceptive or unfair means so as to serve one's purpose. When you say that someone is being manipulative by letting you know that they are struggling and that they are considering deleting file, what is it exactly that they are manipulating you to do? That is the thought. That is the question that I want you to go ahead and sit in, to wrestle with, to really consider, because the answer is usually care. They're manipulating you into caring. They're manipulating you into thinking about someone who isn't you. That is the manipulation that people are really talking about here. So, and this is a conversation that has been on Threads. There are people who are outside really saying that this man is manipulative. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure I brought in 3 specific points. Number 1, in our society, anyone who is unhealthy in any way, shape, or form, or disabled is expected to not be in public spaces. This is part of the reason why there's certain people you never or very rarely see on television. Someone with an obvious disability being one, and people with unobvious disabilities feeling the need to mask their disabilities so that they can be outside with everybody else. So a lot of people have been talking about the neurospicy, for example. Neurospicy have been masking for as long as we can remember, because it has not been okay for them to be as they are and still be in space with everybody else. The same thing happens with the way that we discuss mental health. We think of mental health as an individual's problem and an individual's struggle. It is an individual's problem and struggle when we decide that we are removing them from society and that they must be sequestered over there until they're well. Consider the words, "Hi, how are you?" What is your auto answer? "Oh, I'm fine." Why is fine your auto answer, even if it's not true? Because no one gives a about you. Because we have been told to perform the niceties. And the performance includes the performance of okayness for the benefit of others, because your job is supposedly to be unburdening. Your job is not to burden people with your problems. Your job is to perform wellness so that other people feel okay, usually asking for you to perform other tasks, making it so that you can be productive, so that you can be a good, productive member of society, for which any level of "I'm not well, I'm not okay, I feel ill," whatever the thing is, doesn't fit in. Because we're constantly looking for the performance of others. So if you're going to say that someone is being manipulative and telling you how they actually are, you have to consider, what is it that you feel like you've gotten manipulated out of being able to ask them or to take from them in turn? Because that is also part of the conversation that we're having here. Second thing to consider is that Black mental health matters. And I would like to say, and what I have peeped in the comment sections and with the people who are talking the mess that they are talking, that it is a lot of it's a lot of snow yetis. It's a lot of white folk, right? It is a lot of the unseasoned outside on the internet streets telling this person that it's manipulative to have a mental health concern that you bring to the internet where you spend most of your time. I think that is quite wild. And I'm not saying that it is the best, necessarily the best place for this type of conversation. However, I am saying that the way that we treat mental health as though it is something that only needs to be hidden, that only the best of whatever someone has to offer has to be on the internet and everything else is throwawayable. To me, I find that quite alarming. Because why is it that your comfort matters more than their mental health? That is something to sit in. And why is it that we also expect a Black man to perform wellness for us? And I know that nobody ever wants to hear it, but we have to consider racism with it, and not sexism, because sexism doesn't happen to men, but we have to consider racism as well as prejudice within the conversation, right? Sexism has made it so that men can only perform in a very specific way. So despite the fact that they are the primary beneficiaries of sexism, there's a lack of humanity that we honor for men, particularly for Black men, because they're supposed to be stoic and quiet and well. So when they are not stoic and quiet and well, showing the only emotions that we have deemed it as being appropriate for them to show, generally anger or frustration, or things in the anger wedge, and maybe sometimes being a little bit happy, but not in an overtly outside super happy sort of way, we are uncomfortable. This is a Black man speaking to his mental health, which already makes it pretty radical. But also, number two, it also brings in the other part of the conversation that we like to conveniently leave on the side, that the isms in life don't actually serve anyone. Racism doesn't serve white people, and sexism doesn't serve men. It is bad for everybody because it divorces you of your humanity. He is being a human person, a human being online. And because it makes people uncomfortable, they're asking him to stop. We have to consider that that is what the ask is, but we also have to consider the other portion of the why. And part of the why that people are giving is that because they have had their own, and this is my third point, because they have had their own thoughts of self-deletion, that he should not share it because it is a triggering experience. Number one, a lot of the posts that he does, right, already say trigger on it, right? Like they offer a lot of trigger warnings. Number two, and this has been said and is, I guess, an unpopular saying, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Your triggers are your responsibility. Let me repeat. Your triggers, what triggers you, what is cat hair for you, what makes you go hachoo, what hurts you, that's your responsibility. The world does not rid itself of cats because you have an allergy. The world will not rid itself of everyone else's mental concerns because you have mental concerns. That is up for you to manage. And to that end, let's talk a little bit about what you can do if you are feeling particularly triggered by some of the stuff that you're seeing online, because I recognize that that can be a challenge. And I'm going to go ahead and give you one that feels obvious, but may not have been obvious for you in this moment. Mute him, unfollow him, block him. Put his name in mute so that you never have to see it or anything else that he posts. Skip it. Find something else to do when you see that this is the type of post that he has, when you're noting that you're feeling away. Phone a friend. Yes, I'm taking it to, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Phone a friend. Poll an audience of your friends, of your loved ones. See who's available to help you out. Do a 50-50. Figure out 2 different things that you could do with your time instead of being online. You're going to have to figure the thing out for you, boo-boo. Just because you're allergic doesn't mean that he doesn't get to have his experience. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't get to share that experience. Now, I recognize that there are other consequences to this, but that's not where we are. And half of y'all don't know what those consequences are. You're mostly speaking it from a space of your own selfishness, from your own self-centeredness. Stop. When that family member, when that friend, when that loved one comes to you and tells you that this is a thought that they are having, either put up or shut up. If you can't put up the time, if you can't put up with them, then shut the up. With love. That's with love. That's with care. Because the other part of it is this person killed themselves hashtag that you would be writing on the back end. Please find some humanity or shut the hell up. I lost my cool. I'm coming back to me. My bad. But here's the part that I want you to really consider. Being a part of someone's community means that you're not just there to extract. And even though it is a parasocial relationship because it's online, that man is not my friend. And sometimes the people that we're looking at, we're not close enough to them in that way. Your job as being part of their community has to be more than just extraction. If extraction is all you're looking for, then that means when anyone you see is having what looks like a mental health crisis, look away, avert your gaze, be quiet though, right? If you're saying that you're just here to take, that you don't have anything to give, that's okay. It's okay for you to note that for yourself and to take care of yourself accordingly. However, I also want you to know that you are also being a pretty piss poor community member. Being a community member means that sometimes you also will be inconvenienced. It means that you will sometimes hear or see things that you wish or you would rather not, so that you can continue to reap the good that this person gives. You are the one that has to do the decision making for yourself about what feels good, right, safe, sane, and healthy for you, while he does and while other people in your life do what is safe, sane, healthy, and right for them. If you have it to give, you give. If you don't have it to give, you don't. You do the things that you must do, however, to take care of yourself and your triggers. But being outside on these internet streets, telling someone that they are being manipulative, I would say where it comes to him specifically, you're either misspeaking and saying manipulation when you mean something else, or you're being mischaracterizing. I don't know you know him well enough to be able to mischaracterize this person as being manipulative. So I'm in a space where I return to the message of be kind or be quiet. That is all I have for you today. So I would like to know just from you, how do you take care of yourself and show up as a good community member? Let me know in the space below. If you find that you are struggling with your own mental health, there are numbers and spaces that you can call. and that you can text. I will go ahead and leave some of those resources in the description below. But there is help out there. And if no one's told you today, someone would miss you if you left. I hope that you explore every option before that option, because there is nothing left after it. Y'all are the bee's knees. I will see you tomorrow for another Daily Donna with me, Dr. Donna. Keep it respectful, discourse, not disrespectful in my comments. I will block. All right, I'm out. Bye.